Hi-Fi Rush is a musically attuned action-oriented platformer. It occupies a niche space between a music-fighting, quick-time, anxiety-inducing roller coaster. The comedy serves as a distraction from the grim reality of this world. Although not directly stated within the game, the workings of a corporatocracy are in full display throughout the story. A corporatocracy is essentially a corporation government. Think of the way the government sets up laws and companies set up rules. Think of paying taxes as the employees buying things made by the corporation with the money paid by the corporation. As long as you live within their domain, you must follow their rules, and you are sustaining the system by working for the corporation. With the beginning of the game, we see some of the heads of the company. Let's start laying them out. Kale, he's the CEO and head of the company in every manner. He's essentially the president. He's the ultimate deciding factor. He makes a decision, and the other branches and heads of corporation carry it out. Rekka, head of production, is kind of like Secretary of Labor and Agriculture combined. She makes sure anything the company wants to create gets made or produced as it should be. Mimosa, the head of marketing. She's basically in charge of advertising, making you want to buy more from the company. In other words, she's the equivalent of a Secretary of Commerce. Basically, she creates the conditions for economic growth and opportunity by bringing in business as much as possible. Sanso, head of R&D, Research and Development. He's Vanderlei's equivalent of Director of the Office of Science and Technology, or Secretary of Energy too, and Education for that matter. He comes up with new ideas for new robots and devices and how they should work and function. Corsica, the head of security. This one's pretty self-explanatory. In terms of the corporation, she's the police, military, and basically the entire executive branch together. She's kind of like the Secretary of Defense and Homeland Security. And lastly, Roquefort, head of finance. This one is also pretty straightforward, in charge of everything money really. Like Secretary of Treasury combined with Director of Budget. He controls how money gets managed throughout the company and spent. The best way to tackle a corporatocracy is to break it down into three parts: employees, employer, and corporation. Let's start from the bottom. Employees are the foundation of the corporatocracy. They create the goods used by the corporation, both the ones they use and the ones the corporation sells out. They use the income earned from working for the corporation to buy goods and pay for services created by the corporation. In this case, it's the robots working for Vanderlei. If the corporation creates its own employees, its population is at whatever levels they need it to be. Not too many to run into supply shortages, and not too few to have problems with production. Employees are made to spend their earned money on items made by the company, like Sanso dolls, the food in the cafeteria, or the concert Mimosa puts on. This keeps the gears turning. Literally, gears are used as a form of currency in this game. Just as we use them to purchase upgrades and new attacks, the robots use them to purchase goods within the company. The employees produce goods that go out of the company, however. In essence, to trade. We see Roquefort's Vault of Gold. That's from the goods provided by Vanderlei that are sold to non-employees, aka the people. This provides the budget they have on hand to spend on resources they cannot produce or acquire themselves. Like a country trading for carrots when they can only grow potatoes, or metals when there's no mines. Employers in a corporatocracy are the ones in charge. They are the representatives of the employees for any given section. Employers are essentially upper management in a company, thus translating to the presidents, senators, mayors, and so on. In Vanderlei, these are the six: Kale, Roquefort, Corsica, Sanso, Mimosa, and Rekka. Their job is to keep the corporation running as smoothly as possible. They each handle a section of their government. In turn, that section provides for the rest, and it receives benefits from the others. It's like an arm or a leg. You need your arm to pick up a pencil, but the arm needs to be attached to the body, or else it's just an arm attached to a pencil. Similarly, how the brain has to tell the hand what to write. Think about this. The body works to earn money. That money is used to buy a sandwich. That sandwich is processed by the mouth and stomach into nutrients. Nutrients allow the body to work. Vanderlei shows this quite clearly as well. Security keeps the company safe, while production creates the robots needed for security, and R&D develops new, stronger robots for security. This would be how military keeps the country strong and stops foreign invaders, and how police keeps criminals at bay. But it relies on other parts of the government to produce weapons and to make people enlist. Or marketing, they make people want to buy products invented by R&D and made by production, thus bringing in money for finance. And finance allocates a budget for each of those sections based on need and contribution to the whole. This is basically advertising. Buy things to spend your money, the more money spent, the higher the GDP. The corporation itself is the government. In this manner, It is expected to provide for citizens, and in turn, the citizens provide for it. The corporation provides safety, security, stability, and necessities, while the citizens provide the core blocks for the government to work through the sale of goods and services that are only available as a member of the company, and perks only available to the company members. The company provides incentives for the employees to be a part of. A corporatocracy can be a good or a bad thing. I'll link a video by Mega Projects where he goes over the Mickey Mouse corporatocracy of the Walt Disney World. Ultimately, it's down to those in control. The struggle corporations run into in this regard is corruption and being out of touch with their employees. Employees are the citizens, so if the employers make choices to empower and enrich themselves at the expense of the employees, the whole system collapses. Thank you for watching.